February 3rd, 2026 meeting of the City of Kokomo Board of Zoning Appeals. I'd like to ask everyone in the audience and on the board to silence or turn off any cell phones and to rise and face the flag and say the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence and personal reflection. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First thing I need to cover is those in the audience. If you're here to address the board at the appropriate time, you'll need to step up to the microphone right here and state your full name and your home address of record. The first order of business, I'll need a motion and approval of the meeting minutes of last month.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Okay, motion is approved. Mr. Sheeline, would you please review tonight's agenda with any corrections or modifications?
There are no corrections or modifications. Before we get into the agenda, Mr. President, I would like to introduce Aaron Gluck. He is from the Mayor's Student Advisory Board. Again, it's always good to see young people getting involved in city and local government. So welcome again, Aaron. Thanks for coming. So our first case tonight, Mr. President, is case P01 SE 26, the petition of Teresa Rudd requesting a special exception per section 3.11 for home occupation type 2 in order to open a therapeutic massage business in an R3 zone. This is at 1101 West Monroe Street.
Okay, I'll need a motion and a second to bring this petition to the floor.
I move that we approve case number P01-SC-26 and adopt the findings of the petitioner and those of this board and make those findings part of the record, sir.
Second.
Okay, has there been any ex parte communications regarding this petition involving anyone on the board?
No, sir.
Okay. Will the petitioner please approach the microphone and again state your name and address and present your case, including the reading of the petitioner's findings of fact.
My name is Teresa Rudd, and I live at 1101 West Monroe Street, Kokomo, Indiana, 46901. And I'm petitioning to have this exception for this therapeutic massage business. The proposal will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. There will be no changes in the outside structure for this business. There will be no negative impact on my neighbors or surrounding area because all business practices will be handled with the utmost integrity, adhering to Indiana state regulations governing massage therapy practice. The requirements and development standards for the requested use as prescribed by this zoning ordinance will be met. The buildings meet the minimum requirements for front and side setback requirements on this zoning district. The business will be operated within the existing structures that are already on the residence. No changes will be made outside of the standards for the zone. Traffic, parking, noise, or any other type of pollution will not be produced. The granting of the exception will not subvert the general purposes served by this zoning ordinance and will not permanently injure other property or uses in the same district and vicinity. There will be no permanent changes to the property that will harm or injure this or any nearby property. The proposed use will be consistent with the character of the district therein, the spirit and the intent of this zoning ordinance, and the Kokomo Comprehensive Plan. The business will be consistent with the character, spirit, and aesthetic of the neighborhood because no changes will be made outside of the zoning standards of traffic, and traffic noise or any other type of pollution will not be produced from this business.
Mr. Sheehan?
Yes, staff findings for case P01 SE 26. The proposal will not be injurious to public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. The proposed therapeutic massage business will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, or general welfare of the community. The petitioner is an appropriately licensed massage therapist through the state of Indiana and will provide a safe environment for clients to recover, reduce stress, and focus on their wellness within her residence. Clients will be seen one at a time and park either in the petitioner driveway or on the street. No new building will take place to support this business. The requirements and development standards for the requested use as prescribed to this zoning ordinance will be met. The buildings meet the minimum requirements for front and side setback requirements in the zoning district. The petitioner's residence property meets or is legally nonconforming to all zoning standards, with the home having been built in 1890 and the garage added in 1982. The granting of the exception will not subvert the general purposes served by this zoning ordinance and will not permanently injure other property or uses in the same district and vicinity. Granting this special exception for the petitioner's small business to open inside a residence will not injure neighboring properties or their owners and will not restrict their uses. The subject property and surrounding lots are all zoned R3, medium density residential. The petitioner hosting one client at a residence at a time will not have an impact on property values or alter the residential character of the neighborhood. The proposed use will be consistent with the character of the district therein, the spirit and intent of this zoning ordinance, and the Kokomo Comprehensive Plan. The petitioner proposes a low-traffic use, only planning on single clients arriving to her home perhaps once every hour and a half to 2 hours throughout the business day without overlap. The comprehensive plan earmarks this area for medium to high-density residential uses, as this property will still serve primarily as a petitioner's residence. With the massage as an ancillary use, it will fit appropriately in the neighborhood and with the comprehensive plan.
Okay, do any members of the board have questions, comments, or concerns?
What's your hours of operation going to be?
My hours of operation will begin as early as 8 a.m. and conclude by 7 p.m., but that won't be, I homeschool my children, and so I don't work a back-to-back full-day schedule. I work around those other things, which is part of why I'm asking for this exception to be able to work from home.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, does anyone in the audience have any questions, comments, concerns? If there are no further comments or questions, I'll call for a vote on the motion to approve this case. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next case?
Yeah, next case, Mr. President, is case P01 V26, petition of Angela Kolheim, Vice President represented by Eric Jansen, requesting a variance of 1 foot in height to section 6.16 BA, maximum fence height in the side yard, and 6.17 BB, maximum fence height in rear yard, variance of 2 feet in height to section 6.17 BC, maximum fence height front yard, and variance to section 6.7 BF to incorporate barbed wire on a fence in an HI zone. This is at 2000 West Effenball Street.
Okay, I need a motion and a second to bring this petition to the floor.
I move that we approve case number P01-V-26 and adopt the findings of the petitioner and those of this board and make those findings part of the record, sir.
Second.
Thank you. Has there been any ex parte communication regarding this petition involving anyone on the board?
No, sir.
Now, will the petitioner please approach the mic and present your case?
My name is Eric Jansen. I'm here representing Haynes International. I live at 612 East Terrace Bay Court, Monticello, Indiana. The approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. 1, the fence will be stationary and offset from the roads within the current ordinance requirements. 2, The fence will be identical to the existing fencing around the remainder of the Haynes International Deffenbaugh Street operations site that has been in place for more than 40 years. 3, the fence will prevent access of unauthorized individuals of the public who may be endangered by unimpeded access to the building and construction site during the construction period. 4, the fence will prevent access of unauthorized individuals, the public, due to ignorance or manufacturing hazards might be endangered by unimpeded access to the manufacturing site. The use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. The variance property has been zoned high-intensity industrial heavy manufacturing since establishment of the current ordinance and has a history of high-intensity industrial heavy manufacturing use extending back more than 50 years. The variance for this fencing is consistent with the previous use of the property and will only be expansion of the existing fence to enclose the property. Based on these facts, the variance will not impact the use or value of any properties adjacent or the variance property. The strict application of the terms of this zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulty. This situation will not be self-imposed nor be based on a perceived reduction or restriction of our economic gain. The strict application of the zoning ordinance would remove a layer of difference to unauthorized entry to the petitioner's manufacturing site during both construction and operations. As has been stated in Blocks A above, the fence will provide safety benefits to the public by preventing unauthorized access to an area of potential construction site and manufacturing site hazards. These hazards are known and briefed to visitors and employees to prevent accidental injury or death. Easy of unfettered access prevents the company from implementing those safety precautions as required, while the petitioner has a contracted security force. The limited number of guards require steps to be taken to slow the access of unauthorized people, and the variance requested will substantially assist to those preventative measures.
Mr. Sheline?
Yeah, staff findings for case PO 1V26, the approval will not be injurious to public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. The fence is described in the petitioner's plans, chain link 7 foot and over height, barbed wire included, would not create any safety hazards. In fact, the addition of the fence will act as a deterrent to keep unauthorized personnel outside of restricted areas that could be considered dangerous to someone without intimate knowledge of the site. There are drainage easement lines surrounding the site. However, the petitioner plans to erect the fence in a manner that does not block these areas. The use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. As the area has been HI for many years and is surrounded by other HI and industrial properties with some residential properties located across the street. The fence will serve the homeowners adjacent to this property by protecting them and their families from accidentally wandering onto restricted areas that could be dangerous. This type of chain link fence is appropriate for the needs of the petitioner as well as for the type of property it protects. The fence will not cross or encroach on neighboring properties and should not negatively impact their owners or the use of the properties. The strict application of the terms of this zoning ordinance will result in a practical difficulty. This situation shall not be self-imposed nor be based on a perceived reduction of or restriction of economic gain. As Haynes has been on this property for many years with a similar fence in place that has not caused problems, petitioner and staff believe that there is a practical difficulty in not allowing a fence of the same height and materials to be erected around their expansion area. The existing fence predates the current zoning ordinances and helped Haynes maintain a safe and secure environment. If the variances are not granted, the petitioner will be required to meet ordinance standards for their fence, which may be insufficient for safety reasons.
Okay, do any members of the board have concerns, questions, comments?
Is there going to be any ingress egress on any of the street sites?
Yes, there will be.
Where will they be at?
One on the north side and one on or it'd be north side and one on the east side.
I have a question. Have you had any issues with trespassing in the past?
We have, it's been probably, I think the last one was probably 2 years ago. Someone just wanted to jump the fence at night. The guards did catch them and pull them back, but it has happened in the past, yes.
I will admit, my wife was aware of this particular petition, and she said, well, it'd make it look like a prison there. And, you know, is that a problem? I don't know. So,
Yeah, it has happened multiple times in the past, but one that I can remember for sure.
okay.
Is this the same type of fence you have around the rest of your operation out there?
Yes, sir, identical.
On both sides?
Yes, sir.
Does anyone in the audience have a question or comment? If so, you need to approach the microphone, your name and full address.
My name is Susan Carter. I live at 1308 Belmont Avenue. We're right up against Haynes. We have a fence, and it has barbed wire. I would like to know, how's this going to impact our neighborhood, because it's already a mess because of the overpass. So how is this going to impact our neighborhood? Is it going to make more of a mess? And like he said, it's going to look like a prison. I mean, I was raised there, and I don't recall anybody trying to, but, you know, I'm not going against your word. I'm just saying, we're property owners. What are you about to do to us?
My name is Keith Kruger, 1021 West Superior, Kokomo, Indiana. I'm Director of Quality and Manufacturing Engineering at Haynes. And to answer your question, the Belmont property is on the west side of the property and on the north. And this is only a fence around what the old soccer field is.
Okay.
So there will be a new building that will sit very close to a very large building, but it will sit on the west side of that soccer field and cover a big part of that property. And this fence will just cover around that, just on that soccer field area.
On
So
the
all-
soccer field only? Okay.
Only. So there will be a new
Okay.
building coming also on the north
Oh,
side.
we know.
And it is about 100 feet tall to be able to handle the new equipment. So,
And we understand that.
but there won't be any new fencing. And we apologize for the road construction on the bridge because it was supposed to start way earlier. We had problems with,
It's not so much that as it's created a death trap when you do open it back up.
because of the slight rise.
Yes.
Well, they will have to. Pardon?
I said, it ain't a slight rise. I've lived on that road for 31 years now. And you're building
Sir,
this stuff.
If you're going to speak, you have to come to the microphone, sir.
Yeah, I can sit down out of the way if you want to make a comment, but yeah, I understand what you're saying. I don't know what is being done, but that's something that somebody can talk about and address.
Okay, well, I just want to go on record. So I asked because we all received these letters, okay? So I guess it's like, why in the neighborhood that I'm speaking of, you know, it made us curious, why are we receiving these letters about these fences and barbed wire and
Because
everything?
You are an
Because-
adjoining property owner, ma'am, and by the state of Indiana,
Mm-hmm.
we have to send out letters to any adjoining property owners when there's a variance, special exception, rezoning, so that's why you received it. So that way, if you had an issue, you could attend the meeting.
Okay,
So it-
and that's what we wanted to be
Sure,
clear of.
absolutely,
Is what was
absolutely.
going to happen behind us.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Completely understandable.
Okay,
Yeah, there should not be many changes. That, the bridge thing, I understand, but
maybe we can talk about that another day.
Sure.
are there any other comments?
I appreciate it.
My name's Charles Callahan. I live at 1926 West Effenbaugh, 46902. I've lived, like I said, 31 years. I've watched it when you guys had the barn that sat out there for years, going dilapidated, never said nothing. let the soccer field happen, even though the traffic was relentless from it. All right, now I look out my front door, and it does look like a prison. I live directly right in front of where they just put it. All right, now what's going on this gravel pad you guys have done out there? So what, am I gonna look at a big factory 30, 20 yards from my front door?
I can get up and speak to that if you'd like.
Well, yeah, I wanna know what's going on.
Okay.
Well, number one, keep in mind, sir, all this board is looking at tonight are the variances for the fences.
Okay.
There will be other public hearings down the road when we get ready to build the building and things of that nature, and you will all be notified just like you were tonight. So
Okay.
all we're voting on tonight is the variances for the fences. So
All
those
right.
types of questions that you have, if they want to answer them tonight, I'm fine with that, but they will also be answered in later meetings.
Okay.
Okay?
And I can answer that one because that gravel pad he's referring to is within the fence that we're putting up. And what that is just a lay down area for material when it comes in, so we have somewhere to put it, so we can get to it with equipment. That's what that gravel pad is for.
Okay, so I'll be looking at you guys' material for the rest of my life.
No, just until it's constructed, sir.
Correct, and the building will not be close to where that pad is either. It'll be offset from that pad.
Okay, any other comments, questions? If there's no further ones, I'll call for a vote on the motion to approve this case. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion is approved.
The next
Next
case,
case?
yeah, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Next case, I'm in a hurry to get out of here. The next case tonight, Mr. President, is case PO2V26, petition of Bill Terry requesting Seven Brew, requesting a variance of 138 square feet to section 4.17.2, minimum main floor area, primary structure, variance of 20% to section 4.17.2, maximum impervious surface, and variance to section 4.23 BG, drive-through to have a drive-through front two streets in the C2 zone within the CCOL overlay. This is at 3800 South Reed Road.
Bill Terry with Y Engineers, 105.
Hang on, hang on.
Need a
Sorry.
motion.
Hang
You're
on.
okay. I move that we approve case number P02-B-26 and adopt the findings of the petitioner and those of this board and make those findings part of the record, please.
Second.
Okay. You can now step to the microphone.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Bill Terry with Y Engineers, 10505 North College Avenue, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46280. They do have an address now, it's 3718 South Reed, so. The approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. The Seven Brew layout will additionally add green space that will beautify the redevelopment and is not anticipated to be a public health issue. The use and the value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be effective in a substantial adverse manner. This redevelopment will increase the land value and beautify the area with no adverse impacts on the adjoining parcels. The strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will result in a practical difficulty. This situation shall not be self-imposed nor be based on perceived reductions of a restriction or economic gain. The parcel carve-out with regarding to the setbacks to drive-through facing a public right-of-way and the required 60-foot lot coverage maximum. The restriction of the out parcel is hampering the site to meeting the zoning requirements. This will allow the Seven Brew to operate normally and as well as the shopping center that abuts this out parcel, as the landlord has set this boundary for the Seven Brew and to maintain his shopping center and parking.
Okay, before we go any further, I need to ask our board members, has there been any ex parte communication regarding this case?
No, sir.
Okay. Mr. Sheehan.
Yeah, staff findings for case PO2V26, the approval will not be injurious to public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. The requested variance for reduced floor area, increased impervious surface, and placement at the drive-through will not create any safety hazards block vision, or encroach on any property lines or recorded easements. The new overall impervious surface will be a reduction from what is existing. The use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. The area is already highly developed with a large shopping center, hospital, and other commercial properties. The development of this new lot will not substantially change the character of the area or negatively impact neighboring properties. The strict application of the terms of this zoning ordinance will result in a practical difficulty. This situation shall not be self-imposed nor be based on a perceived reduction of or restriction of economic gain. Due to the type of business that plans to inhabit this lot, a quick-serve drive-through coffee shop, the petitioner does not need or desire a building that is larger than what they have requested. If required to build larger, it would cause undue financial strain in the building, maintenance, and operation phases of the business. Although they seek a variance for impervious surface, the petitioner will be reducing the amount of impervious surface for what exists there now, an improvement. While allowing a drive-through to front the street is not an aesthetic choice, it is a practical one for the petitioners, as they will have two street frontages and an entrance point, but that would not allow for alternative placement. If the variances are not granted, the lot may remain undeveloped and in its current condition due to the cost prohibiting factors listed above.
Okay, members of the board have any questions, comments?
I do. In the plat meeting, I apologize, I should ask that question there, but it didn't register because you was gonna ask for these, on the, drive-through window. What did you base the parking spaces on?
One per landlord,
Okay,
that was one of them. Then the code per square footage of the building. I think we had 12, I believe, on site. So that's all, so there's no seats in this. It's like the Kokomo number one, it's all just drive-through strictly. So those parking stalls are just for employees.
it was my understanding, on the first location, that was set on employees,
Yeah.
number of employees.
Yes,
Okay.
which was 9, I believe. And as you see there, we already added 5, I believe. So, yeah. So we typically, they like 12 is their magic number. So, and right now, the landlord will not give us cross-ex parking for anything. So that's why we went with 14, I believe.
I think we just wanted to make sure that we weren't going to have the same
Yeah,
issue
'cause
with.
that's the last
with
one we
this
would-
site as the first site.
Yeah, we didn't want, because he goes, you tell us what the parking you want, and he goes, this is what you're getting, and you're not getting any more. And he wouldn't come to an agreement for any, I'm sure there's gonna be down the road, somebody's gonna park over there, and, you know.
Where's
Sure.
the other 7 lots at? Because it's not on this piece of paper.
Have to have Bill show you. Can you step up and show him where parking is?
So you got two, and you got on the row right there, which you can't really see. No, so you got, it's way too small. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you got 12 on site.
Is that on here?
Yeah, it's in there. Yeah, you have 12 on site. We did have incorporated those,
Okay.
but he didn't want to let those go on that side. So that's been revised, and he didn't want none of these to go, because those people will go
Okay.
to the,
Well, I was stating, on the first location, we were way short, and to
Yes.
this day, they are still parking a car in the handicap space and in the handicap designated load-unload area every day, which is not good or not right, but if you've got spaces here and here, I just didn't want you to get open. And
I
then
totally understand.
And all of a sudden, we'd be where we were at the
totally
first
understand.
location.
I know the landlord said the same thing, that's the reason we added those, but if it comes down to it, and he sees that, hey, we need 5
There's
more, or
somewhere.
whatever down here, that's up to 7 Brew and the landlord.
How are they gonna do that parallel? They're gonna put a curbing there?
That'll have to be discussed during site plan, I would say.
No, those are just he gave those 2 and those 2.
Okay,
So there's 12, and that's why we're
Okay.
measuring.
thank you.
Hopefully what happens is Kokomo 2 takes off pressure from Kokomo number 1. That's the goal. Then Kokomo number 3 is gonna happen, and hopefully that's the goal.
Okay, is there any questions from the audience?
John had a question.
Oh, sorry.
All your traffic is gonna come in off Southway Boulevard then?
That or two from the south. So if they're at somewhere down south, if they don't want to go Starbucks, then they come down.
So, but it's still.
I would say 80% comes from
It's gonna
south.
come to Southway Boulevard or right there in front of
Yep.
Dollar Tree and everywhere else?
No new,
Huh?
no new ingress egress.
No new entrance?
No.
Well, if I can speak for city engineering, they prefer not to have new ingress egresses.
Yeah, that's what John.
Because that seems to cause more problems than,
I understand it. My
Yeah.
concern is that entrance that comes into where Dollar Tree is now, especially when people try to leave because of the traffic that's on Southway Boulevard coming to the east, it causes quite a bit of problems.
well, again, we'll certainly discuss that during site plan approval, so.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, John hadn't had any problems with that.
No, he is not. Not yet, no.
And I think that boils down to traffic light signals and everything else. and-
Correct.
Okay, anything else from the board? From the audience, any questions or comments? If there are none, I'll call for a vote on the motion to approve this case. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion is approved. If there's no further business, I'll entertain a motion and second to adjourn this meeting.
Move to approve?
Second that.
Move to adjourn?
I have a motion and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? We are adjourned.
Thanks, everyone.